Hello and welcome to a detailed recap of Game of Thrones Season 6. This season is all about resurrection, revenge, and a massive shift in power across Westeros and Essos. So let's dive right in. We start right where Season 5 left us hanging with the shocking assassination of Jon Snow. But don't worry, his story is far from over. A grieving and guilt-ridden Melisandre performs a ritual, and against all odds, Jon Snow is brought back to life. Understandably disillusioned, his first act is to execute the mutineers who betrayed him. With his watch officially ended, he leaves the Night's Watch behind, a changed man. Meanwhile, Sansa Stark finally escapes the clutches of the monstrous Ramsay Bolton. With help from Theon Greyjoy, she makes her way north and has an emotional reunion with Jon at Castle Black. They decide to take back their home, Winterfell, and begin rallying the northern houses for support. But Sansa, knowing they need more strength, secretly sends a raven to Petyr Baelish, calling upon the Knights of the Vale for aid. This all culminates in the Battle of the Bastards, one of the most intense and brutal sequences in the entire series. Ramsay, in his typical cruel fashion, uses Rickon Stark as bait, luring Jon into a trap. Jon's army is quickly outmaneuvered and surrounded, facing certain doom. But just when all hope seems lost, the horns of the Vale sound, and Littlefinger's army charges in, completely turning the tide of the battle. Jon's forces are victorious. Ramsay is captured, and in a moment of pure, cold justice, Sansa feeds him to his own starving hounds. With Winterfell reclaimed, the Lords of the North declare Jon Snow the new king in the North, restoring House Stark to its rightful place. Now, let's go beyond the wall, where Bran Stark's journey takes a mystical and terrifying turn. He's training with the three-eyed raven, learning to harness his visions. Through these visions, he uncovers monumental secrets from the past. He witnesses the children of the forest creating the very first White Walker, a weapon intended to fight the first men that spiraled horrifically out of their control. During one vision, the Night King himself sees Bran and touches his arm, marking him. This breaks the magical protection of the cave, allowing the army of the dead to invade. The escape is devastating. Bran's direwolf, Summer, the remaining children of the forest, and the three-eyed raven are all killed. In this chaotic escape, we learn the tragic origin of Hoda's name, as Bran walks into a young Wireless in the past while simultaneously being in the present. Mira's desperate cries of "Hold the door" echo through time, shattering the young boy's mind and leaving him able to say only that one word, Hoda. Bran escapes and becomes the new three-eyed raven, burdened with all the memories of the world. Back in King's Landing, Cersei Lannister is facing her own crisis. She's set to stand trial by the Faith Militant, led by the cunning High Sparrow. To make matters worse, her own son, King Tommen, has aligned the crown with the Faith, leaving her completely isolated and powerless. But if there's one thing we know about Cersei, it's that she never goes down without a fight. Facing certain conviction, Cersei orchestrates one of the most shocking and destructive acts in the show's history. While her enemies gather in the Great Sept of Baelor for the trial, she unleashes the caches of wildfire hidden beneath the city. The entire sept explodes in a storm of green fire, instantly killing the High Sparrow, Margaery Tyrell, her brother Loras, their father Mace Tyrell, and countless others. Devastated by the death of his queen and the horror of his mother's actions, King Tommen calmly removes his crown and jumps to his death from a window in the Red Keep. With no other heirs and no one left to oppose her, Cersei Lannister seizes the Iron Throne for herself and is crowned Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. Across the Narrow Sea, Daenerys Targaryen's journey takes a powerful turn. After being captured by a Dothraki Khalasar, she is brought to the sacred city of Vys Dothrak. The Khals plan to decide her fate, but Daenerys has other ideas. In a stunning display of her fireproof nature, She traps the Khals inside their temple and burns it to the ground. She emerges from the flames unharmed and powerful, and the entire Dothraki nation kneels before her, pledging their loyalty. While she was gone, Tyrion Lannister was struggling to maintain order in Meereen against the resurgent slave masters. Daenerys returns just in time to crush their naval assault with her 3 dragons. Her power base is now stronger than ever. She forges crucial alliances with Yara and Theon Greyjoy, who offer her their fleet, and with the vengeful houses of Tyrell and Dorne, who want to see Cersei fall. By the end of the season, Daenerys Targaryen finally sails for Westeros. With a massive Dothraki army, an unsullied force, a huge armada of ships, and 3 dragons soaring overhead, she is ready to take back the Iron Throne. Speaking of the Iron Islands, a new player emerges. The ruthless Euron Greyjoy murders his brother, King Balon, and seizes the Salt Throne. This is what forces Yara and Theon to flee with the best ships of the Iron Fleet, leading them straight to Daenerys. And in Dawn, in a storyline that was quite controversial with fans, the Sand Snakes take matters into their own hands. They murder Prince Doran Martell and his heir, seizing control of the region. Their goal is simple: war against the Lannisters. This brutal coup is what ultimately aligns Dawn with Daenerys' cause, providing her with yet another powerful ally in Westeros. Meanwhile, in Braavos, Arya Stark's story comes to a head. She's been training with the Faceless Men, but she can't bring herself to fully abandon her identity as a Stark. When she refuses a mission, the relentless waif is sent to kill her. After a brutal chase through the city, a wounded Arya lures the waif into a dark room and uses her training in blindness to kill her. She returns to the House of Black and White, declares that a girl is Arya Stark of Winterfell and I'm going home, and rejects the Faceless Men for good. Her homecoming is swift and deadly. She travels to the Riverlands and infiltrates the twins. Disguised as a servant girl, she gets her long-awaited revenge on Walder Frey for the Red Wedding. First by serving him a pie made from his own sons, and then by slitting his throat, just as her mother was killed. Arya is back in Westeros and she has a list to finish. But the biggest revelation of the entire season, perhaps the entire series, comes from one of Bran's final visions. He travels back to the Tower of Joy, where a young Ned Stark fights his way to his dying sister, Lyanna. With her last breath, she whispers a secret to him and makes him promise to protect her newborn son. That baby, as the camera reveals, is Jon Snow. This confirms the long-held theory. Jon is not Ned Stark's bastard, but the son of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen. He is both a Stark and a Targaryen, a son of ice and fire, and the true heir to the Iron Throne. This changes everything. Season 6 is a season of incredible transformation and consolidation. Jon rises from death to become a king. Daenerys unites a massive army and begins her invasion. Cersei annihilates her enemies to seize the ultimate power. Bran becomes the keeper of history. And Arya reclaims her identity and begins her quest for vengeance. The sprawling story has now focused into clear factions, setting the stage for the final, epic confrontations: the living versus the dead, and a 3-way war for the Iron Throne.